Hello, good day. Today I'll be showing you how to set up DHCP on your Windows Server 2008. As you can see here, I already have my Windows Server 2008 open here, and this is the initial configuration page that you should be familiar with by now. First, we'll want to scroll along a bit, and we're going to add a new role. So let's click on Add a New Role, and the wizard should come up. Let's click Next, and we're going to install DHCP server. So this is it right here. That's part tick right next to it. Once you have selected that, click next. And this is just an introduction into DHCP server, a short explanation and things that you should note. You should have a static IP set on your Windows Server 2008. For the sake of this tutorial, one of the problems I came across when trying to install it previously is I had multiple network adapters on my Windows Server 2008 in VirtualBox, and that caused an error when trying to set up DHCP. So preferably make sure that you have one IP address, one static IP address, one network card set up, so it won't cause any issues when configuring it later down the road. Once you're good with that, just click next. As you can see, this is my IP address. If you actually go back to the initial configuration page, you can see this is my local area connection. That's my IP address. So we know this is the IP address we will be working with. So yes, we have that selected. Click next. And this is our parent domain, server1.com. If you also want to confirm that, you can go to my computer, right click on it and click properties. Your domain will be your parent domain, and just remember, if anything, the computer name, so which you may have to enter later on in configuration. So once your parent domain is correct, you could fill the DNS server IPv4 address, the IP address that we seen earlier. Just click validate to make sure it's valid. Once it's validated, click next. We won't be using this service right now, so let's leave it at not required right now. And this is the scope. What this is the scope of the IP addresses to be used for the network. So let me say the server IP address is 192.168.0.1. That IP address is reserved for the server, and we want a certain amount or a certain range of IP addresses for all the client PCs. Let me say 192.168.0.2 all the way up to 192.168.0.200. All the IP addresses between those two IP addresses will be available for any client that is connected to the server. You could actually give a scope. You don't have to give a scope now. You can actually enter in the scope later on after configuration, but I'll show you how to do it here one time. So you have to put a scope name, so scope 1. Leave the default gateway off, and this as is. Click OK. Once you added a scope, you can actually edit it at any time here. Once you select and click edit, add other scopes also too. But for this tutorial, we will be only working with one. So once you're finished adding a scope there, you can click next. And this is IPv6. This is the enable IPv6. So this tutorial we won't be using that. As you see with my past videos, I have disabled this. So we'll be disabling this here also too. Click next. This is just asking for which user account will be used to authorize the DHCP server. You will be sticking with the administrator account. Click next. And this is just a summary of your DHCP setting. You could go it over just to make sure everything is right. As you can see, our IPv4 address, our parent domain, the IP address of our server. This is our subnet mask, the range for client PCs, wired. Once you go it over, just click next, and it will install the DHCP server onto your Windows Server 2008. Once the installation is finished, just click close. To go to your DHCP, click Start, Administrative Tools, and you can see the option now added here, DHCP. This is the control center for editing your DHCP settings. We'll be only dealing with IPv4, so, and as you can see, this is our scope that we created here. And as you can see, this is our address pool, the 103 to 203. Next is our address list, and we have none right now because we have no client IPs connected right now. So I'll show you that option after. And next is reservations. We would like to add a new reservation. Reservation is basically reserving a special IP address for a special computer on your network. So let me say the head of the company wants a specific ID for their computer. So let me say CEO. We can give him an IP address of, let me say, 111. So this will be his IP address that his computer will have once he's connected to the server. Now we have to get the MAC address. I would like to do it from other computer just to show example. So I'll be bringing up Windows 7. Open your command prompt. And we're going to type in get MAC space /s, the computer name, which in this case will be Windows PC. And if you're unsure about the computer name, you can go to Start, right click on My Computer, click Properties. As you can see here, the computer name right here. You'll only be able to retrieve the MAC address of the computer that you're doing it on. So it's not to say that it retrieving all the MAC addresses of all the computers on the network. It's just the MAC address of this computer. So click that, you'll type in clip, and this should come up. Once you see the user slash administrator come up, you just go and open up Notepad. I want to click paste. This is the physical IP address of this computer. If you also want another place instead of typing in using the command prompt, you can also go to network and sharing, adapter setting, right click on the adapter, click status, and click details, and you would also get the MAC address of the computer. But this way allows, instead of typing it out, you can actually get paste. And we'll be saving it on the desktop because we have to enter in this information on the server. So I'll save it on the desktop. and I'm going to share it on the network. I'll share it with the administrator. Done. And we're going back to Windows Service Browser. If we go to back to Start and Network, go to Windows 7, User and Administrator, and go to Desktop. We'll get the MAC address. You just copy and paste it. Close off all that and paste it here. And just like this, you can just click Add, you can click Close. And as you can see here, it's been reserved. Now we want to set up the client PCs to get the IP address from the server and not be running it from static. So Windows 7, go into network, adapter setting, right click, properties, IPv version 4, and we're going to set it to obtain IP address automatically. Once you selected that, you can leave the DNS as is, click OK, and OK. It should take a few moments. And just to confirm, you can click status and details, and as you can see, it has received the IP address I reserved for it, 192.168.56.111. And just to confirm another way also too, you will go to command prompt and type in ipconfig. As you can see here, 192.168. And if we go to another client PC, let's in this case Vista, right click, network sharing, minus network connection, same procedure as before. With IPv4 and set it to automatically. Okay. Let's give it a few moments to identify itself. If we right click on it, click status and details. As you can see, it's gotten actually the first IP address of that network automatically. Click close. Close all this. Go to the command prompt again. Config and 103. As you can see. If we go back to the server, and if we go to address listers, as you can see, both our PCs are here. As you can see, our reserve PC, which is our CEO PC, and our Windows Vista PC. So for our Windows Vista PC, that IP address will change once the lease is over, while as the IP address for the CEO computer, which is the Windows 7, would stay set to the 192.168.56.11 until I change or specify so. So that was a tutorial on installing and setting up DHCP on your Windows Server 2008.